Hello and welcome everybody back to the Dumbass class with me, Dyslexic Gamer, and my players as always, as we continue our Rogue Trader game. So, in the last episode, more or less, the important parts of the last episode are right at the end, where the group decided with a little bit of, pushing in the right direction from me, to go to their local inbred town and to try and make their lives a little bit better, or at least bring forth some entertainment and other things to help them and make them look kindly upon the group. For the group to be able to insert themselves in as their new overlords and masters. Manpower is needed, can't do everything themselves. So in this pursuit, our tech priest, after thinking to himself quite long and duteously that the best way to do this would be to build an irrigation system to help improve the farmers, and after some shaking of heads and pointing at metal, a still was made. So
I still think the irrigation system is a better infrastructure project.
it probably is, but you need the people on side first. With alcohol, people will be on your side. So a day and a half went by, and the still is made. We go backward time now, as one of the other group has a chance to do something. If you wish, you can spend a few days here in that, you wait until, okay, Cray's got a still up and running, and then go on from there. Or you can use the time whilst Cray's off doing things with mutants. Oh, sorry, no, not the mutants. He's with the other people who aren't mutants. So what would everyone like to do?
I think I'm still stuck on the still.
You are.
I don't remember because it's been a very long while. Were there any barriers or any people stopping people from going to the sick area?
No. There's literally just two houses that they kind of knocked a wall down inside and stick people in. Get them drunk.
Wait, that's the drunk people also go there?
Oh no, the sick ones who are like dying and disease ridden and falling apart, they get sent to the Red Medical Hut. And in the Red Medical Hut, they spend most of their days just waiting for the night to fall, when people will put alcohol in the communal drinking trough.
Gotcha. Makes sense now. I want to go there and see if I can acquire. I want to look around for whoever is the biggest in the group, or looks like the biggest. I don't know how much the medicine thing can fix these people, but it's out of character Archaeotech, right? So maybe it could help fix these people. And if I can technically save them, I can technically twist them because I'm their savior.
So wait, you want to take the sick people away from?
I want to take samples from them first. Yeah.
As far as you're aware, the Archaeotech healing device, drug manufacturing bot, you actually need to be on it. So far, at least so far, no one has figured out if it can do diagnostic of human samples given, for example.
It can create a general stim at it, basically.
Yeah, so it could make general antibiotics. It could make, insert any type of medicine, vitamins, or so on in tablet form if the correct ingredients are added to the machine. But for you to utilize the machine for these people, you would have to take them individually to your hideout and place them on the bed. I can tell you now they won't do it. To go off with strangers into the wilderness.
I mean, I don't never thought they would, which is why I want to try to get samples from them, then get medicine for them, then try to.
As far as you're aware, you can try it. I'm not going to say you can't give it a try, but so far it seems to be a scanning device that you have to be laid on it for it to read your body's vital signs and scan it and see what's wrong with you.
Gotcha.
Think of like an auto dock from Fallout, or the auto dock from Prometheus with that travesty of a movie, or any other auto dock that you can think of from sci-fi. Only this one's a little bit better. It actually makes the drugs.
No, I get it. It's just that I thought if I could bring it in a sample, it could work. So, and I technically don't know if it doesn't work or not. So I'm not trying to collect a sample. If it doesn't work, I want to try to bring back general antibiotics, if at all possible. I know there's not enough medicine, but that would be something for me to do.
I have just come up against another realization. How the hell are you going to take a sample? What, chop off an arm?
Oh, bodily fluids.
But what are you going to carry in? You haven't got any glass tubes or anything. Apparently you've got a gauze. You've got a hollowed out... yeah, it's a gourd, isn't it? A hollowed out fruit rind that you then fill with water.
Is it gauze? Wait, what?
What is it that... it's a gourd, isn't it?
Oh, gourd, yeah.
Yeah.
Gourd. I heard gauze.
Yeah, no. I think I said gauze at first. It's like, no, it's not. It's not gauze. It's gourd.
I mean,
gourd is alive.
If I can take if I grab, say, like a gauze and have some of their blood on the gauze, I can just hold the gauze, take it there, and see if we can analyze it.
I don't have any gauze.
It's not as great.
You don't have any gauze. Yeah, you don't have any gauze. You don't have any medical supply.
Any piece of cloth would work.
I mean, I guess kind of cross-contamination and shit, but I guess kind of you could put spit on a cloth.
I think we just need to gather up supplies for this general stim that might help at least most of the injured people. We can actually get most of the people who are sick of something. If we can get them on our side a little bit easier, we can convince them, at least one of them, to come with us.
That could work.
Let me convert them to the Imperial Creed, and we just take one, the chosen one. We show them the light of the Emperor.
I think I think I'd try to do it my way. Just grab the sample. If it works, it works. And then I can blackmail them.
Okay, so you go up to the medical tent where all the sick and dying people are. No, I think it's actually middle of the day or something like that. So they're not expecting anyone. So maybe they look up to see if it's a family member or a beloved one just coming by to see if they're still alive and okay. And they see your pale ass degenerate self appear in the doorway and what the fuck is that? Some of them point and ugh.
If I see any of them that looks like they need a change of, again, bandages or anything, I'm gonna try to do that so it's less intrusive. Just gonna take one of their bandages, change it, and leave.
I mean, genuinely speaking, when you look through the group, you see a lot of people in their late 30s, early 40s. You don't see many injuries on them, but they are all very pale, sickly, groaning, in pain. Yeah, there might be a couple of wounded hunters who are in there, although genuinely speaking, this isn't a place for the... So if you were cut, for example, you wouldn't get sent here. if you were cut, you would, they'd heat up a knife or a blade and they'd cauterize the wound shut, and you would carry on your day. They send to people who are dying here, who are like no longer can get up, drink, and fuck. They send here. Imagine it probably stinks of shit.
Very specific criteria.
Yeah, very. Yeah, that's all they really do here. So yeah, it would probably stink of shit. To be honest with you, they're drinking like really, really dirty alcohol. So I imagine.
What can you get from a stool sample then?
Oh, I suppose that's not bad. You could take a stool sample. It's it's runny.
Go on, Eldar. Grab the poo.
There's a lot of it.
I'm not grabbing the poo.
Like, because remember, they're drinking alcohol every day. That is mulch. It's fermented water that has not been processed. They literally just strain it out with a bit of cloth. So all the bacteria in that, yeah, most of the people of this community only know the brown rain.
Don't know if I needed to.
You brought this upon yourself.
I did, didn't I? I mean, I'm not going to take a stool sample.
It is legitimate. It is a legitimate sample that you could take, and they would think you're weird as fuck, but they wouldn't really complain.
We'll think you're weird as fuck.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to give me a charm test or an intimidate test.
Don't intimidate. You know what happened last time.
Well, so I'll give you. They are dying. These people are not well. They're sick. They're diseased. They're so on and so forth. So they're not going to really put up much of a fight if you do intimidate them. And there's not many individuals who are really like looking after them either.
I hate myself for doing this. I'm gonna grab a stool sample. Fuck it. I want to do the simplest and fastest way possible. So I'm gonna make sure that it can't touch me.
So which hand are you grabbing it with?
Keeps on coming up in this campaign.
Hey,
you started this. Aldi, you started this.
I know. I'm proud.
Come on, Eldar. Come on, Eldar. Which hand do you grab it with?
I'm not going to grab it with my hands. I'm going to try to get a piece of cloth, chuck it up on top of it, and grab the piece that is not dirty.
God damn it! Nearly got the ginger. So okay, you dip some cloth in the poo, and then you.
I'm not going to fold it and put it in my pocket or anything along those lines. I'm going to fold it grab another piece of cloth, fold it on top of it, make a tiny little handkerchief kind of thing, and I'm going to hold it in front of me, and I'm going to leave.
Tiny little handkerchief, okay. I don't know where you get this tiny piece of handkerchief from, but you get some really rough Muslim cloth. Muslim cloth. That slipped out. Muslim. Cloth.
It works.
And you wrap it around. It's not the thickest weaved material in the world. It kind of stinks, but okay. Yeah, you grab some and wrap up your little package and leave. You're the dying people just watching you quizzically. Like, what is this retard doing?
This retard stealing my poo.
Why is the Xeno stealing shit?
I don't know.
If you want poo, I sell it for five thrones. 5 thrones poo.
Okay, so what would you like to do now, Kalindra? You have your sample.
I'm gonna go to whoever's closest from the group.
Not whoever's closest. Pick some. Go towards someone, because I have no idea where your token is for this little poo raid. Okay.
Well, technically speaking, Cray is closest to me because from here to here, and he's technically working this. I'm gonna go to Cray.
I'm busy with boiling, making distill. So
yeah, Cray's over by the blacksmiths.
Yeah, so it's the closest one, technically speaking. Like, I'm just gonna go by him, not gonna get too close. Not a Monkai. I kind of need to go to the place to have something checked. You guys don't mind if I go there alone, right? Even though it's kind of dumb.
I'll go with you.
I
Looks like
do
I'm gonna
mind.
escort.
Hey, talk.
We can get there and back in a day, can't we?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
can I lodge a complaint?
Yeah, you can lodge a
No.
complaint, but we can lodge a right. Get it. Okay, I'll get a suggestion box on the way. Don't worry, just write it down on a piece of paper, okay? It's completely anonymous, I swear.
I just don't want you to go alone to there.
No, I'm going with her.
so
Yes, that
you're
include. I said you.
Oh,
so you'll basically be spending 3/4 of a day walking, because basically you walked here, and then you started your business. You had already used up part of the day. So yeah,
Also, for what do we need to go to the base?
so what's that?
I need
Down
to
the
use the
sewer.
medical facility.
you gotta scan the poo somehow.
They want to feed poo
As a
into the
reminder,
machine.
every time we return, these people fucking gasp because they don't know about people just venturing out, spending a night somewhere, and returning.
Yes.
It's fine by me.
Okay, so
I mean, can't it wait a couple of days?
The faster we do this, it's the better, because I don't want to sit around and just wait.
Then
It
alcohol
does
will
mean we
have
can
to-
figure out a way of getting what herbs, what kind of stuff like that we need for specific. Well, I was going to say shit, but that's not appropriate. Well, it kind of is, but
All right, then I'll follow you.
oh no,
That's
Craig,
no,
Craig,
you do your thing.
Craig,
I'll go with her.
Right, you're
Fine.
on an extended test. You've already done your roles. I don't mind you talking, but you cannot leave. This is currently your project that you're working on. It's just stuff that other people are doing in the background as you're working. Which was meant to be
Don't
doing
you-
similar projects, but apparently this has all changed now. So,
Don't you dare
I
break
can't even remember what my
C4
project
machine.
was, to be honest.
oh my days, this is why you have an area to keep notes. So
I know.
you you head off towards the Archaeotech base. Kalindra and Heinrich, can you give me a D100 each? We'll see if anything happens.
Seconds.
Coons.
Okay, you're
One
quite
each.
lucky. You managed to get up to the base, and we'll say you can get back without anything happening. I was hoping for both dice to come up as something, and then I was going to be like, yes, try and kill one of them off again. But no, you're quite lucky this time. So you go back into the base. Everything's lit up and rather nice for you. You go down to the machine, and Heinrich shows Kalindra. Yes, you run your hand over this bit, and then this bit opens, and then we feed stuff into it. And then on this screen here, Heinrich, this is the first time any of you have bothered looking at the screen after Kalindra had her operation. It tells you that the subject has successfully been cured of their fever. Their gut has been successfully restitched using biodegradable nano stitching. Her pancreas surgery was a failure. Pancreas was undetected.
So
Just
does that mean our Eldar has a sugar disease now?
It turned. Oh god. Okay. Oh, that's a good point. Jim, can you read High Gothic by any chance?
I can.
Okay, that's right. Then I was going to say, if you came out here by yourself, you wouldn't be able to read the screen.
Oh, I know. I know. I can. Oh my.
Okay.
boy.
Do I see any place to put the sample on?
Yes, the slot opens up, and you just feed stuff into there, and it tells you on the screen. It's just on the screen. It tells you that it tried to form a appendicite. No, you have an appendicitis where your
You have
appendix
appendicitis.
Yeah, when your appendix is about to burst, that's an appendicitis, I think, if I'm correct.
Yes,
and then it's
you are
removed
correct.
through a surgery,
Please recite that in my language.
which
I think the Eldar would be aware of that.
So yeah, it tried to
Yeah,
perform a
it's-
surgery on you, which you're
Here's
pretty
the
sure
thing,
you
though,
don't have that organ. So
It's telling me something that, technically speaking, I might not even have as an organ.
no, you don't.
No,
No, you don't.
well, do fish have appendixes?
Not
Remember.
necessarily the appendix is
I don't
something
think
spotted.
Eldar
And
do
again,
have one.
what is this comparison with fish all the time?
Oh no, Eldar biology is more akin to a fish than humans.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
believe the fish have an appendix because the appendix is something especially human, as it's a piece of bowel that no longer has a function and it's just junk.
Leftover remains. But anyway,
Like fish.
so yeah, you are genetically more similar to a fish than an ape. So happy days. You're like, okay, fair enough. They tried to perform a surgery on me. Fine. You can feed your poo sample into the machine. How do you do this? Are you just chucking the thing in?
I'm not gonna feed it entirely. I'm gonna see if there's an option for diagnostics on the machine.
No, you don't understand the concept that is going on here. There's a letterbox like device. You put the thing in, it closes, and then
I'll put half the sample in.
Ew. Okay.
Poo into our machine.
Hang on a minute. How are you going to do this? Because you said you take a bit of cloth, you dip it in the diarrhea, and then you put that bit of cloth inside another bit of cloth, and then tie it up.
I'll squeeze the cloth. You said
Just
it
put the whole
yourself.
thing in. Just put the whole thing in.
Okay. The degenerate now
Eldar,
has.
stop being so weird about fucking poo.
The degenerate now has poo on her. No. The degenerate's like fine, and squeezes the cloth to get the poo to drip out.
I don't have to. I don't have to touch the cloth. The squishy bits that squeeze the cloth.
Now the degenerate has. Yes, excellent. So, the diarrhea goes into the into the post box. The post box closes up. After a few moments, you would probably see like nitrogen rather. A small amount comes up on the chemical list, but there's no diagnostic option that comes up. If you go through the options on the touch screen, it all says awaiting patient. If you lie down in it, it will tell you everything going on with you, kind of. Well, sort of. Doesn't understand you personally as a degenerate Eldar, but Heinrich it would understand.
Alright, Eldar, you're gonna have to eat the poo.
I'm gonna look at Heinrich. No, I think we need to kidnap a sick man, a woman. I don't want guy. We kidnap them, put a bag over their heads, bring them here, check them, then bring them back.
Want to resort to kidnapping again?
So we can cure them. Down the line. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the blind monkey, maybe she can do her thing to, like, what she did to the animals to make one of the sick people come with us. Like, tamely.
That is a possibility. I still need to try and remember what the hell I was planning to do at the village.
How would I know what she wanted to do?
Out of character, you've never seen Abby assume total control over a humanoid.
Technically speaking, I know you control animals. That's enough for me because you're monkey. Remember, I'm a little carry. You're all animals in the end to me.
So I take it you wander your butts back.
I think we want our happy little asses back.
Before we
So-
do that, is there
So
any way
what
for
the machine spit out?
before we actually wander back? Is there any way for me to grab general antibiotics from the machine before we return?
No, it doesn't have general antibiotics. So the machine's been
I don't
sat
know where
there
I am.
for a few thousand years in a cave that was locked away and unused. All the biological
Can I-
samples have been completely and utterly desecrated, gone off in massive, massive terms. The group have been feeding into it certain vegetation to try and get enough components for it to make medicines. They haven't got anywhere near it yet. They can make a basic, not antibiotic. They can make a basic anti-disinfectant at the moment, but that's about it. Oh no, then they have a very basic painkiller that they could basically have a few of, but again, they haven't found anything that's rich in material, in components. The thing that they have the most of at the moment is saline solution. That's just salt and water, and the machine can disinfect the other minerals as well, which I think they got out of stone.
Is there enough for it to pop out a few pills of weak painkillers?
Yeah, I mean,
No, we need to get more herbs and
distribute.
shit.
It can distribute
Yeah.
like 5 weak painkillers. This is like paracetamol. However, it's not gonna do a lot for someone in combat, but it could assist the people in town a little bit.
Yeah, that's more what I was saying. If I can, I'm gonna grab like a few, like
Yeah, no,
few.
it's got enough to produce 5.
Good look at Heinrich. Can I get all of it? Are you guys gonna be mad at me?
We do need to get more material. That's the main issue. Alright, why not?
Just as a
If it helps.
reminder, Muttermouth said that he knows where to get medicine plants from the forest, just not from this area, because it's such a different environment. And you guys are, one goal is to get to the forest and get, well, across the forest as well, but still, so once you're accessing there, you'll be able to get better materials. Although I'm going to help you out here. Next time you go to town, buy some alcohol and stick it in the machine. Alcohol's a great disinfectant.
Good point.
I mean, if it's just pure enough.
The machine does the purification and the extraction process.
Shouldn't we be able to get alcohol from just chugging in some rotting apples or something like that?
Technically, yes, you can get alcohol from putting in slightly rotten apples in, but it will only be a small amount. It can only extract what's in the thing. If you put alcohol in there, even if it's shit alcohol, it's going to be able to produce a lot more because it's getting more quantity.
Fair enough.
So sure, you come back to
All
town.
except you.
You come back to town with your 5 little pills. Like, yes, we have achieved much. Meanwhile, the blacksmith and the miner, along with Cray, are putting together barrels and doing all sorts of weird shit. This is the only still I could find on Roll20, so yeah, bit of a chunkier bugger than I thought you were going to make. So Abby, what would you like to do with this like half day, 3/4 of a day that you have?
I would like to grab Muttermouth and go and see the village elder.
Okay, sure. Muttermouth's a little bit doesn't really want to go with you, but he does, and he takes you over to the village elder. The elder is basically sat outside his house. Again, his house is far grander than all the others and looks much, much older. It being one of the actual buildings is made out of a proper material. So
I don't think we ever asked, but does he look as messed up as the rest of them, or?
No, he doesn't. He is probably the oldest person in this village by about 20 years. So he's mid to late 50s. Kind of looks like he's early 60s. Looks much older than he actually is. Looks like he's had a hard life. Doesn't quite look as inbreded as the rest of them. He basically spends his time sat outside of his house just watching what's going on, and every now and then people come up to him, like the foreman will go over to him every few hours or so. But yeah, other than that, he doesn't really seem to have a very active role in the community. But Muttermouth comes over to him, and followed by you, and the elder kind of looks over towards Muttermouth, spits on the ground, kind of sheepishly says a greeting to the old man. He spits on the ground again.
This is one of those moments where I wish I had telekinesis.
What would you like to say to the old man with prejudices?
Basically, I'm going to tell him that we've decided to make a few improvements to the village and share our knowledge, and that I think that he could help.
Muttermouth translates. The old man sighs heavily, looks over at Muttermouth. There's clear contempt in his eyes. Looks up at you, gives you a little smile, says some gobbledygook, which Muttermouth translates as him say town good enough as is.
Bro.
Abby will point behind him to the smithy, or the forge,
Yep,
and the smelter. Just gesturing.
He kind of glances over. Big old heavy sigh, kind of nods, scratches a boil on his neck. Looks like he's weighing it up. It takes him an irritatingly long time for him to like look back at Muttermouth with and then look up at you and says something in gobbledygook, and Muttermouth kind of like looks a little bit shocked, and he's like, hear him say, your party do good work with forge and smelter. Town improved enough for him, he thinks.
I'd say we could do more, especially for your sick people.
Muttermouth translates, and he sighs heavily again, kind of leaning back in his chair, and looks up at the sky, scratches the boil underneath his chin, and then, creaks his neck a little bit and weighs up again for an irritatingly long amount of time. You almost can feel the sun moving overhead in between his answers. He says some other nonsense in his language, and Muttermouth translates to he say that their fate is their fate. Time for them to end. He not see how you can give them more life when their life line has come to end. Even Muttermouth like shrugs at that one, like fucking hell, that's a bit of a.
Abby smiles and says, "What happens to them after they die?"
The old man for once doesn't like sigh and looks at you kind of. There's a little bit of like light, a twinkle almost in his eyes as he looks down, and he seems to really think for a while, and then he takes out this basically it's like a root. It's like a piece of root that he's carved the bark off the root and left in the sun to dry. He has a really primitive like flint and oiled canvas that he strikes off of a piece of iron rasp. He gets a light from it, puts it to this root, and begins to light it. Takes again an irritatingly long amount of time for him to light this piece of cloth, and then to light his root. He takes a few really long, deep drags on it, blowing out this almost cinnamony smelling smoke. But as you like breathe it in, it has like a peppery taste, even from the smoke that's just being blown out. He takes a third long hit and blows the smoke up the air, and then he begins to talk. Muttermouth will translate what he says, basically, or as well as he can. So the elder says that when one is born, they are given a lifeline given to them by the fates. Once that lifeline comes to an end, their life ends. And when their life ends, all that they have been, all that they are, returns to the fates. He says very clearly, he doesn't say gods, it's fates that he believes his people go back to. And depending on how you have lived your life, what knowledge, what experiences you have gathered up, will depend on which fate will take your, which one of the fates will take your soul.
Oh boy.
Would that strike a nerve with Abby? Like, would that seem chaotic to her?
It smacks of it. There's a real hint of like, hang on, fates? Like, what do you mean by, like, you'd need a little bit more on that side of it, but it does smack of, it depends on how he answers next. Like, technically, if it were, you know, the god emperor and his saints were considered the fates that give you, you know, will you work in agriculture, saint whatever his name is, that worked for an agriculture or war, blah blah blah. You could see it as another way though.
I don't quite remember. Muttermouth told me to keep being a psyker hidden, right?
Yeah, in his experience, like he had a really bad experience with when you spoke into his head, and knowing that you were a psyker really put him off. And you haven't seen any psychers around. Of course, you do know of psychically active creatures.
So Abby will hold her anger back for a moment and, just ask him to tell her about these fates, see what she can learn.
So again, irritatingly long amount of time goes by. He takes a few more drags on his route, approximately 5. And this is something you would definitely notice, he blows one up in the air, one to his left, one to his right, one down to the floor, and then his last one he blows out at the center before he starts talking. Muttermouth seems a little bit. So how would he probably? Yeah, he'd probably start that way. So Muttermouth seems a little bit repulsed at first, when he translates that if one has been wise and knowledgeable and searched out for new creations and new ideas, it'd probably be the hawk will take you. The fate that is resembled by the hawk. If you have been devout in the search of new medicines and to treat new plagues and so on and so forth, you were taken by the fate symbolized by the tree. You can probably see where this is going. If you have been hedonistic, looked to create fabulous creations and so on and so forth, you were taken by the fate that is symbolized by essentially it would be like the heart or the cupid, some sort of very fanciful
Cherub.
image. Yeah, cherub, that's the one. And if you go for the path of blood, violence, the warrior, yeah, you get taken by fate symbolized by the axe, or so on and so forth. However, he does say that if you have lived a life that is devout to the people, you seek to better those on the harder path, you are taken by the sun god, the sun fate, which he states is the shortest fate of them all.
The shortest fate? In what way?
He kind of like sits and almost thinks upon his own words for a time, and then replies, and Muttermouth translates, "It is the hardest path to walk, and it is the one with the most dangers, the most uncaring fate of all. The other fates will reward those even in their mortal life. Prove their devotion, to prove their, not devotion, it proves your devotion, but it shows their love towards those who walk their fates."
is there a competition among the fates to try and gain the most people for themselves?
He takes a really slow and patient kind of. The cherry burns for a long time, and he inhales really slowly and blows the smoke out through his nostrils, and mouth translates that the fates used to fight amongst themselves in the before time when they had more influence. Sorry, oh, I've just got a phone call. I need to go. I will be right back.
No.
I'll even put the stream on the BRB screen, which I haven't used in a long time. So I will be up. We have returned.
Jesus.
So, before I had a phone call, the group were talking to the old man about his religion, Kind of heretical. Glimmer of hope, but kind of heretical.
Yeah, we kind of noticed that.
I believe the last thing was that you asked was why is the fifth fate the hardest one? He's basically saying it's because you're meant to be nice to all other men. You're meant to work towards the community and to being, and that's just kind of hard work and boring. You end up dying. The other fates say they give you cool powers, they look after you, they make things sweet and cool, and yeah, better.
Don't mind occasional tentacle.
Hey, some people are into that, and for them it's a bonus. Only some.
Jim, no.
Don't look at me.
A lot of them
What
live
should I
on a
say?
peninsula, an island. What is Japan as a mass? I don't know.
Islands.
But that's where most of it comes
Took
from.
me a second. This took me a second to realize why you're bringing up Japan.
Where else? Anyway, so the old man is smoking
Disappointing.
a gnarled root.
Oh, right. The last thing I asked was if there was a competition for,
Oh, right, yes.
and you said that they fought among each other.
Yes, so they used to compete long before his time, but then after a large, he would use fluffier words, but I'm just going to use the blunt version. After a large war that depleted vast quantities of people, kind of got a little bit easier. The gifts were not. So in his tribal terms, he would tell you that the gods lost their power after this great competition between them, where many died in the fates' names. But then after this great competition, the fates seemed to have lost their powers, and the stars began to flicker and fade from the night sky.
So this sun fate does sound like the most noble one. It doesn't tempt you with prizes. And frankly, if more people followed the sun fate, maybe this place would be better off.
So his eyes have begun to go really yellow in colour. His pupils are dilating. And he kind of leans back in his chair, looks up at the sky, shields himself from like he's staring up at the sun for a couple of seconds before actually shielding his eyes from the sun. And then he looks back at you like watery eyes now. Says a few words, and Muttermouth just translates as him say too much work. Simpler, easier life. And the old man kind of just gestures around, kind of waving his hand and his fingers ever so slightly, as if like he's kind of looking at his hand move, at the same time as gesturing around. And you can see that everyone in this town is kind of being beaten with the lazy stick. They're all quite lazy. Awful.
She's going to point towards the smith and the miner helping Cray build the distillery. Do you know what this is?
he looks over at the blacksmith and says, like, nodding his head. Muttermouth like shakes his head as he translates. Him say magic.
So you see them working, and it is for the express purpose of bettering your village? Surely the something that would, you know, interest the Sun Fate.
He shrugs, and like the root that he was smoking has got quite low now, sorry, quite small, and he like takes what seems to be the last few drags on it as he purses his lips, and gesture like muddles it round and finally releasing the smoke more into his own face as he looks down and re-inhales what he blows out. Says some things, Muttermouth. Him say that is their fate. I
But if they work and reap their rewards,
Muttermouth
maybe
like,
following the Sun Fate is its own reward.
Muttermouth like holds up a paw, holds up a hand. I think they all free to choose which fate they follow, but he just too old to change fates now. Muttermouth says some stuff to the chief, whose eyes have gone like a really bright yellow, and he's since looking up at the sun with his old eyes. He's begun to have tears come down his cheeks. The old man replies to Muttermouth, and Muttermouth turns to you. Him say he not care if people choose to walk the fate of the sun. It up to them. Him not care.
Abby will ask Mattermouth specifically, like not to translate, but what is his function in this village?
Okay. There's some back and forth as the old man takes his final toke and flicks the root into the courtyard bit. Kind of looks up at Muttermouth, and Muttermouth translates and is a little bit like, oh, okay. So the old man here is technically the leader of the village because he is the oldest. So it's his duty to be basically the ceremony holder, like he does when there's a ritual that needs to be done. He does it. If there's a celebration to be had, he's the one who's basically like the priest of the. If there's a wedding, which they don't have weddings here, but if there was, he would be the one to conduct it, like ship's captain, things like that. But he doesn't actually have any sway over the people. Like if he tells them from this day forth no one will drink alcohol, they're not going to listen to him. It's just so their life is hard here, but it's not so hard that they suffer much. Like food, okay, they have to work for, but they can get food. The climate is fairly good here. It's hot and arid. So they're not under that many stresses as long as they stay in the walls. So it's quite a lazy, laid-back society here. So he's just the one who, if there's a dispute, will give counsel on the dispute because he's the oldest, basically.
Is there someone that the people would follow?
Like Muttermouth's a little bit like, so he adds on, so it and he'll translate it to. He says, if this place was attacked, who would the people follow? Who would everyone rally behind? And the old man kind of like gestures towards the foreman, and he's like, okay, so what if everyone wanted to leave and move? Who would they talk to then? And he just shrugs. He's just like, I don't know. Maybe everyone. Maybe we have a town. You'd use a special word for it though. Or would he? No, he wouldn't. So he basically just like gestured that the whole town would come together and discuss it. But he would say he's never, in all his years, he's never had like fighting between villages. Just doesn't happen anymore because so many villages are no more. So they have no neighbors to go to war against, so they have no reason to fight. It's only the wildlife that causes them a problem, or the shit. They had a word for them. I think they called them champions. Yeah, I think they called them champions, the Shadowkin. So if they don't pay tribute to the Shadowkin, things can get dangerous. He's kind of, and he's very spaced out now, the old man, kind of like looking, staring at things.
Yeah, I suppose I should, talk to the foreman then, see if he's a little more swayable.
And essentially, the elder was just, it's like, do whatever you want. If you want to sway people onto the son's fate, then that's your choice. He's an old man who doesn't want things to change, basically. But sure, you could go down to the foreman.
Well, currently he's on high, old man.
Yeah, like kind of looking at shining lights and like giggling at the moment. Oh, would he be giggling? Yeah, maybe.
I was really tempted to just, have Abby look at the sun and just be completely, not caring about it.
So you head over to the foreman. He spits at the ground at Muttermouth's feet as you approach. Says the word that you know is mutant now. Muttermouth's ears kind of go down and he grumbles. The foreman says some things to you, and then Muttermouth translates. He's like, foreman asks what you want.
I just talked to the village elder about your fates. Me and my group want to improve things for the village a bit. And I believe that you could help.
He folds his arms. Gives you a questioning look when Muttermouth is translating. He looks at you as he says, "What do you want?"
The village elder told me that you have multiple fates, but one of them seems rather noble, and he said it was the hardest one to pick. And I would like more people to choose to walk that fate to improve things around here.
He looks at you as if you're a bit of a muppet, and he like gestures to at least a good third of the population here. He much about base will translate. He like so. He's like, look at that group there. They spend their days drinking and fucking. Do you really think they want to do hard work? Look at that group over there. They're dying and returning to the earth. They're probably hoping to become one with the land. You see them changing their tune, and he basically gestures to certain people that he basically gestures, not gestures, basically hints at their fates. He's like, you really think any of these want to walk the harder line for less? What can the sun fate bring us? What can, basically he's a complete denier about what can be done for the community, because it's all about working towards the betterment of the community, of man, of yourself, and praising the sun and the sun god. And that seems like too much hard work. Whereas all the other fates are just kind of like, yeah, just do these few things and, relax the rest of the time. Take it easy. We'll look after you. Not so much anymore.
She just turns around, gestures towards the forge. Says, it's much easier to forge better tools now. It's much easier to smelt metal now. And once my companion and the smith are done with the distillery, don't you think those people who like to drink will be happy to have much better alcohol to drink?
He looks at you again as if you're a muppet, and Mouth will translate. He's like, what the fuck is a distillery? What do you mean better alcohol? What nonsense is this?
With that, she'll just tell him to wait and see.
Just shaking his head like, what fucking idiocy is this? What? Tried to spurt words at me. He's like, fuck off, mutant, and shoos you away. No. I think my internet's going again. What the fuck is wrong with my internet nowadays? No, it's excellent connection. What?
I guess that's as far as I'll get today.
Yeah, no, they're unfortunately they're dumb savages in many respects. Every respect.
I mean, I could have taken the ecclesiarchal route and been like, no, fuck you, you're dumb, blam.
True.
Be quicker.
Be much quicker.
Yeah, but we'd also have less of a village to follow us, so,
That would be stupidly faster, though, when you think about it. You're literally asking them to pray to a god that doesn't give them anything and say, no, it's giving. Look at that. Like, where we keep getting good, cool shit from the other ones.
Except they don't. They just kind of waste away.
So
They don't anymore.
Yeah, they don't anymore. The law behind the world was back in the way time. They would get gifts. They would get stuff, which kept them on, their fates. Whereas now it's more of they're carrying on with the tradition, although there is no gifts coming from anyone. but they're all too savage and regressed to realize that working together, you can have cool shit. So, Abby and Buttermouth walk away, kind of like, okay, very well. As Heinrich and Kalindra return for the day. So that's that day, that half day done. Cray, I imagine you work on for a few more hours before coming round a campfire for a bowl of kind of rank stew. Buttermouth's kind of not put his best into it. It's protein though. So just as
Zeno, why do you smell of shit?
glorious.
I'm just gonna look at you.
They went to feed it to the medicine machine.
I'm just looking at you. I'm not answering. Gray already answered, so
Abby shrugs.
Out of character. Talk about anticlimactic.
Yeah, and now we need to get you to actually prove that your alcohol is better.
I mean,
It's not going to be hard.
Yeah, it's not going to be difficult.
it could start. Could make it strong enough they're knocked out.
No.
On the glass and you're knocked out.
I'll be asking you some questions about brewing, about distilling later on, so we'll see what happens. So, the I believe it was the 26th day has passed. You're on to the 27th now. Did any of the other characters remember what they wanted to do from last week?
No.
This is why you write shit
I'll be
down.
completely honest, my head just kind of went blank on it, and I'm fucking tired. So I
So
need
it
to look
was-
back at the actual.
It was
Oh,
organizing the warehouse, because at the moment they just chuck shit in it. It was building a fighting pit, doing something about
that's still the
their
plans.
doing something about their medical needs. I did not think the degenerate was going to do. Anything else that you guys could think of? Oh, also the cooking. But you've basically done that. You have the cooking instruments. They will be made.
I mean,
tomorrow.
some of them could start digging. Start digging the trenches for the irrigation.
Straight back to irrigation.
Look, I want it, damn it. And if I can do it, I will make my slaves do it. Sorry, was that out loud?
No. I approve.
I mean, if you really want to improve them, you need to get them mechanical parts and make all the second servitors.
Well, that's the next step.
So as the degenerates moan and whine about hangovers and needing the bathroom, and the sounds of chronic diarrhea spreading through the town, which is a normal wake up call for you all by now. What would you like to do as Cray wanders off to go work on his still, which he has another half day to work on?
Yeah, I'll go after the storage. I'll probably need Mothermouth to help me talk them into letting me actually into the storeroom and everything.
Oh no, you go over there with Muttermouth, and they don't stop you. You can go straight in there. There's just shit thrown everywhere. Like so the ore that they collect and the stone, they just chuck into a pile. It's stone mixed with ore, mixed with other ores, and it's just really like, okay, fair enough. There are barrels every now and then, and you go over to a barrel and you look and you're like, okay, what the fuck's in this thing then? Like, when was it put here? Then you look around, there's dozens and dozens of barrels that have just been placed, and no markers, no nothing.
Right. Okay. Well, if I spend the day doing this, I might be able to find some good materials for us to, cook and ferment shit with. So I'll roll my sleeves up and get to work, I guess. And if you guys don't need Mothermouth, I can probably use them as an assistant at some point.
So yeah, as you give me a strength test, I'll give you a +10, and then give me a toughness test, and I'll again give you a +10.
Strength.
I suppose this is where you'd use trade skill labourer from.
Hey, I don't have it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh my god.
You gain a degree of
3.
fatigue.
Yeah. Overall, a degree.
Yeah, you gain a degree of fatigue, but you do not suffer any injury. So you're moving around some really heavy shit, Heinrich. So you find that there is stone, ores, some crates of levers. Just in some cases, they've just chucked levers on top of the stone pile and then chuck stones on top of the lever, and you're just like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like, what? Why would you?
What?
And then you like open up some of the barrels with Muttermouth's help, and just a rank smell comes out, and you're like, hum, putting the lid back on. Muttermouth's running out almost. Let's see if Muttermouth's sick. How quickly do it? Just we'll let him. Muttermouth throw up.
Oh.
He's alright. And you realise that the thing that you've opened, the barrel, is full of an oily substance that stinks of fish. Well, I guess it's fish oil. Close it back down, and you open up other barrels that are filled with just really loopy substance. Like, well, what the fuck is this? But the barrels are only sort of like 3/4 full, and okay, right. But then why is nothing labelled? Why is nothing give me a search test. I believe you have search.
I don't. I have an 18% chance. Fuck. A 7.
Okay. So, as you're shifting stuff out of the way, you manage to, and this is taking you all day.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you were also thinking of giving them some groin fruit to add to their mulch. That was something else you were doing.
Oh yeah, I would have given that over to Cray for when he starts, or at least I'd hold on to it until Cray needs it for his whole, distillery.
So you spend all day basically moving shit around, and you're not exactly able to get everything orderly nice, because there's some areas that are just piles of ore that they've just got stacked, and you're like, well, I need help for that. But you manage to get all the way into the back, and you're going through, and you're like, well, fucking hell, they must have like a couple of tons of ore in here. They've got at least, maybe like 5,000 thrones worth of stone that could be cut into blocks for things. So cut into stone blocks for things. And you're like, being a rogue trader, you're like calculating the prices of things, and you kind of wish you had your not savant, bollocks.
Seneschal?
Yeah, Seneschal. Yeah, Seneschal. Along here with you.
I didn't remember if I had a Seneschal, or if I still have one, actually.
Well,
I would have had one.
Your
family,
your family probably had them at the very least. The ship that you had before, if you were on a ship, would have had one. So yeah, maybe new crew, new ship, new crew. Who knows? right now you wish you had him there, had him or her or they with you. But you quickly start adding up, and you're like, there's a lot of thrones here just dumped in piles that are just have other shit dumped on top of them. And you manage to get into the back of the store, of the warehouse. You start like taking out some levers which are clearly like decades old, completely ruined. And you're like, well, that's just a waste of good gelt. And you throw it over to the side and hang on a minute, what the fuck is this? That's a backpack. That's a really big backpack, like a duffel, not a duffel, a camping backpack. And you go to pick it up and you're like, holy fucking Jesus. Sorry, fucking God Emperor, praise love. You lift this backpack out. Inside the backpack, you find one data slate. You find a pair of normal goggles that protect you from sun and dust only. You find 4 candles plus an igniter. You find 5 standard tools. Yes, these are things like wrenches and shit that Cray had to make.
Okay.
But most importantly of all, you find a las cutter.
Holy shit!
Wait, what? Claimed. Dips.
Finders keepers. Also, I'm the boss.
Yes,
I don't say boss.
You find,
No,
you
I'm
find
the
a las
fucking
cutter.
The one and use it the best.
True. I'm lending you the last cutter.
Please roll me willpower. As you a moment of joyous excitement as you're like, yes, look at this. You look down next to you and like, ah! This would be mundane at the very least. If you do have like jaded or anything like that.
No, I don't think I do.
Okay. So you do pass, so you don't scream. You don't shout, you're just like, oh, holy fuck. There's a skull down there. Oh, okay. Okay, I've seen a lot of skulls.
From the Imperium, I'm used to fucking skulls. Come on.
You're like, yeah, but it's looking up at you, and it's kind of like, holy fuck. Oh, okay. So you reach
Does
down.
it have a spider in one of his eyes?
You pick up the skull, and you're like, okay, what the fuck is this? Legs come up with it. Tiny spider-like legs. Like, well, that's creepy. Place it down on the pile of ore and stuff that you've like squeezed your way in. You're like, okay, so it is a skull that has clear cybernetic parts on it. The skull itself has been engraved. It almost looks like it's a las. You know, like
Is
how
this a
we're
servo
using.
skull?
You know how we use lasers to engrave stuff? It kind of looks like that. It's got engravings across the skull. But unlike a servo skull you may have seen before, this thing seems to have spider-like mechanical legs that come out. 8 of them.
Okay.
It has housing on its neck and its like chassis where the legs are attached to, that seems to be severely damaged, as if something used to be connected there but is no longer connected. It is quite heavy, as you can lift it up with one hand. I think you got strength of 3, but it's a difficult one to lift with strength of 3, and it seems to be inactive.
Okay. Is it inside the backpack or just beside it?
So when you lifted the bag up, it was underneath the bag. So thus, when you were like looked down, you just saw this skull with a decorated, skull with a decorated skull. That's a kind of decorated bone. That's better, with a decorated bone on it. Looking
Scrimshawed.
Scrimshawed. Yes, brilliant word. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is on there. Although it's not images, it's a pattern.
Okay. Yeah, scrimshaw pattern. Okay. Can you just give me a quick reminder of what's all in the backpack? So the
Sure.
backpack, there's the
You've
5
got-
general tools: the las cutter, the goggles.
You've got the goggles, las cutter, 4 candles with igniter, so basically a crappy lighter.
Yeah.
5 standard tools and a data slate, along with an actual modern camping hiking bag. You know, it's got to be quite big because it held a las cutter inside.
Yeah.
It's worn, it's old, but it is modern made material. The best way I can describe it.
The data slate is, I take it it's unpowered. It's like
You want to try?
uncharged.
Turn it on.
Yeah.
So you flick the on switch and a tiny green light appears. Data slate flickers to life. It takes a few moments. You can hear the fans inside the machine, or the spirit within the machine making its voice heard. As you look down, you see imperial lasses of the segmentum, all their nude glory.
Brilliant. I'm keeping this.
A data slate containing porn. You could have had one with
Heresy!
important data. But
At least it's
no,
not the
but
Adeptus
no.
Karma Sutras.
You could have had important map and geological data, but no, Nuffle decided you get the porn.
Complaining.
The Eldar's ears twitch. Huh? Something
Was
lewd
it porn?
happened, and I'm not aware of it.
So the fucking backpack lets me carry 50 kilos extra worth of stuff.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
And technically, it is a las cutter from Dark Heresy 1. That makes. I think it makes it a little bit different. Because I think in Dark Heresy 2, it actually counts as a heavy weapon to be used. Whereas in Dark Heresy 1, it's just a cumbersome weapon. They're all still the same in that if you want to use it as a melter gun, it has a range of 10 meters. It can only be used on stationary targets, and it does not gain any of the benefits of melter.
Yeah, okay. Hang on, let me see. So it is I think it is under gear though, isn't it?
I believe it is. I think there is one in Rogue Trader. However,
I'm pretty sure.
This chart
Also,
uses stuff
data
from
states
all of them.
5. So I'm just getting weights and stuff like that so it fits my bag.
It is 4 kilos, I believe. It's not actually.
Well, that's very
It's not actually that heavy.
No,
It's
it's
going to
more
make mining a lot easier.
It's encumbersome, just. It would be like 42 whatever in fantasy because it's cumbersome. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, I probably will be giving that to Cray. The tools, what would you say?
Oh, they are literally. So it's a little bit annoying. The thing literally just says you get 1d5 of standard tools. It doesn't actually tell you what tools they are, but they're going to be like things like wrenches, yeah, things like wrenches, things that would be really difficult for you to manufacture yourself. Obviously, getting them the calibrated size.
I'll put a total about.
So
15.
wrenches, Allen keys. What else?
Yeah, things like
those
bolts like
triangles to make a.
Well, you only get 5 of
making
them.
it in
Remember,
these.
there's a lot of sizes when it comes to a wrench. I just know that it's not big enough to be
you
used
got
as an
those,
improvised weapon.
How do you call those in English?
Monkey wrench.
Yeah.
We call them. God damn it! Let me look up a translation.
That's a really weird one. Oh, God damn it. Let me look at the translation. So it also sounds very English.
Yeah, technically, if you had found these like a week ago, they would have been the tools that you would have needed. But where you've already made the tools that you needed, like screwdrivers and things like that, these will just be other tools of that same caliber. I'm only saying wrenches.
We call them parrot beaks, like those English wrenches that you can move the distance between the two
adjustable
forks.
spanner.
Yeah.
A Spanish. That's the one.
Adjustable spanner. I'm sure. Yeah, there can be a couple of them in there. Or one of them because it's adjustable.
It doesn't actually sound that heavy as I thought it would be then. So I'll say about 7-8 kilos.
For the tools?
Yeah.
No, much less for the tools. You're probably talking for all 5 of them. Probably talking like 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos. Because they're not.
Sweet.
So the book actually, or the random generator actually classed them as not being big enough to be used as improvised weapons. So they are too small to even bonk someone on the head with. But they are not small enough that they are to be used for fixing devices that are as small as a chronometer, as a chronometer, which was saying some of the other tools you could have. Yeah, just because it landed on tools, there was like 6 or 7 different options. I was like, okay, cool, I like this chart.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the other things were just mundane with no weight. The servo spider, whatever you want to call it, does not have a weight. I would have to look it up and guesstimate. Has a token though.
Oh, let me see the token.
Okay, there is part of it is missing. Remember, part of it is missing.
Also, where is the storehouse again? Is it this one here? Oh boy. Yes.
That's the storehouse.
Which one?
This one.
The big one up north.
Yep. Sorry, I wasn't actually zoomed in enough. That is class. Okay. So, have I actually got this place tidy?
No. You've gone through. No. You've done like
at least part of it tidy.
Yeah, you've moved some things around. Like you and Muttermouth have manhandled barrels around and opened them up quickly to see. Okay, right. These are the fish oil barrels. These are the gloopy substance barrels. These are the other barrels. Right. You need a lot of hands to move the ores around. There's just too much of it for you and Muttermouth to do on your own. But you've kind of gone round and gathered up all the levers and tried to stack the levers where they're all together. I would have had a reveal of here's the clean warehouse where you. But sad. Oh no, hang on a minute. It did upload, didn't it? I forgot. It did upload. Okay. No, you have cleaned it. Quite nice.
Oh, it's that map you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, it was only an itty ditty one for this town. Oh god damn it! Come here, you fucking piece of crap. Right. Now I've made that a little bit too small. I need to make it bigger, larger. On the piss. Yeah, voila.
Oh god damn it! I muted myself. I said, yeah, that looks. I actually kind of like it, and I do want to. It's something I kind of want to work towards. Also, oh look, a little office. I wonder whose that might be in the near future. Hee.
So yeah, you and Muttermouth, unfortunately, there is still the ore has not been put away nicely. But yeah, you've moved stuff around, and you can actually get in there and walk around and be like, okay, right. And that's where you found a little corner Like, okay, what's behind there? Is that more levers? And oh yeah, they were crap levers. And then you found the bag, and then the skull, and then huzzah!
Is any of that ore useful for the smithy at the moment? Like, if they need any of that shit, or if they just...
Oh yeah, so the ore technically they can put straight into the smelter and turn into ingots. They do have some ingots, which was one of the things I forgot earlier. They do have some poorly smelted ingots in here as well, but that was with their old smelter, and you could see like the holes and the lumps of stuff that clearly isn't metal still attached to some of them. But yeah, that's all stuff that technically can be used. It's just... So, it was a while ago I explained this, but every now and then, sometimes it's years, sometimes it's a few months, they'll have traders that come by. So the kind of standing idea of the town was build up a massive stockpile, so when a trader comes, we can then trade for anything that we need. It's been so long since a trader has come that they just keep stockpiling shit. It's a little bit every day, but there's no order to it, so they would just come along and just chuck shit in.
I can understand that. They are lazy as fuck as well, so...
There's like no town guidance here. There's no leader who's actually like pushing them to move in this direction or that direction. The only thing they have as a leader kind of don't really give a shit. They're like, meh, why bother?
The only leaders... Sounds like it's the... what's his fucking face?
It's like a proper tribal system in that respect, because you're going to have the younger people who are going to follow the person who's more, well, basically the foreman, because he's a little bit more with it, with paying people and so on and so forth. And you're going to have the older lot, sadly, the before their 30s, going, oh wow, you know, we're past our prime now. The older guy's kind of looking like he's got the way sorted. He's old after all. They look over at the medical tent and be like, we don't want to be like that. But soon they... So yes, as we go back a little bit. So, Abby and Kalindra, what do you want to do with your day? And if you wish, pass it up.
I suppose I'm kind of waiting for the skill to finish.
Sure. Kalindra, is there anything you want to do? Jim, are you muted? No, you're not.
No, sorry. I think I want to look for herbs closer to this place. But before I do that, I'm gonna go to the sick house. I'm gonna at random give one of those people one paracetamol and say, just take this and remember, and then go out.
You want to give one person at random?
Yeah, one pill.
Right.
Hang on, think about that.
Roll
What
me.
can paracetamol at least treat, Jim? Before you fucking...
I don't want to treat them. I just want to... If they
No,
have a
but-
headache, I just want to make the headache, lessen. Yeah, I get
These
that,
are
but
dying people.
who cares? I just want to create a little bit of something in there. Calm down.
Think about it,
Pick
because there
a
are people there
number.
dying of different types of wounds.
Pick a number
I know.
between 1 and 10.
Oh god.
I'm not gonna pick that number. I'm just gonna roll D10. Roll D10.
So your decision is 4. Okay. So you give someone a pill and you walk off. Has no effect whatsoever. So half the day goes on. So was there anything else you wanted to do?
No,
I was like, he manages to find the one person that happens to be a bleeder. They just die 15 minutes into it.
that works for me too, technically.
That's
First
aspirin,
time
not
they come with the
paracetamol.
tools.
So, was there anything else you wanted to do with your day, Kalindra?
If there are any herbs closer to this place, I would like to go grab some. Anything really?
Okay, so if you ask about a mouth, he's going to tell you that there isn't. The group were in the mountains when they did their herb gathering. Down here, like Muttermouth doesn't know, like this, and it's weird to say it, but this community don't use herbs to heal. There's not that much growth around here. So you can try and roll a search check to see if you get lucky. There'll probably be a -10 to the test because this area is just so barren. Up by your base was a little bit different, but all that stuff produced was low grade materials.
I mean, sure. I'll do a medicine search.
Sure.
Oh boy. Nope.
So, the whole day has basically moved on. At the halfway point, Frey finished his still. So, Cray, So Cray, wanting to maybe go off, but the two miners kind of, happy with their creation and with your help, they kind of put their arms around you and like kind of manhandled, frog marched you over to the merchant, and there's a bit of back and forth between the merchant and the two brothers, and before long, the merchant basically goes into his big vat of alcohol, quote unquote, scooping out some foul-smelling material and placing it in a number of large. No, we'll say he fills up a couple of gourds. This lumpy, pulpy, sweet-smelling, but yeah, there's a sickly smell to it as well. He dumps it into these gourds, and the brothers happily flick some money over to him and take you off. And you've already explained to them with Buttermouth's help what this is meant to do, but they seem a little bit excited. So they go and get some water. You wrap cloths around all the glass pipes, keep them cold, and they light the still after putting in this disgusting smelling alcohol that everyone drinks around here. Once the still has got up to temperature, and you very quickly start like, okay, right, pull some of the fire away. Pull some of the fire away. We don't want this getting too hot. Don't. Making sure it's a nice low hook underneath the hot part still. For about 20 minutes or so, you start seeing liquid drop into the glass bottle, or the glass beaker, rather, that you have at the bottom of the spout. Give it an hour, and there's a decent amount of liquid in the beaker. Great.
Yes. I guess. I mean, I'm not really a brewer, though. So I guess it is up to them.
I'll be nice. I'll give you an intelligence check. There is going to be a -10 here, because I do want to be a little bit spiteful and see what happens. Okay, so. Oh, Okay.
You
So,
do have fate points and can re-roll, by the way.
It's fine. What's the worst that can happen? You get 90%
It
alcohol.
still blows up.
oh no. Distill is working. Something in the distillation process that you may have forgotten about, but never mind. So you
go blind.
Eh,
Rot gut.
So you see the water filling up. You know, there's a bit of a cheer amongst you and your friends. And you tell to them, you know, you hold it up and you're like, pure spirits, alcohol. This is good stuff. We mix this with some water and you know, good stuff. He would probably let you take it, as it's the first and you kind of created it. They quickly put another beaker underneath.
Can I put a lighter to it first? Or put a stick that's on flame? And see if I burn it, or if it gets extinguished.
You've made distilled alcohol from the mulch. So yeah, you can pour a little bit out, and put a flame to it. It will ignite.
Oh,
I mean, it's distilled alcohol. Distilled alcohol will always ignite.
yeah, I know.
Like vodka, whiskey's a little bit different.
Champagne also
So,
burns.
As far as I'm aware, in the making of whiskey process, you get distilled alcohol, you mix it with water, and you put it into a barrel. And then it's the aging process of the whiskey that gives it. No distilled alcohol should be drunk straight from the distillery. I know the hillbillies will tell you differently. Drinking like, what is it? They call it 190 proof alcohol. Is not a smart idea. Yeah, most alcohols are actually mixed with water. Most spirits will be mixed with water to dilute.
Well, 100% alcohol
40%.
would kill you. As with 90% or 95%.
But you can drink 95% spirits, I think, just not a lot of it. But pure alcohol, you are correct, will kill you. I can't remember what the hillbillies drink then. No, I think they drink 80. I think they drink 85% CL, which is 190 proof. I think. Sorry, they talk in proofs, which I'm not familiar with. But yeah, there's a TV show where it talks about brewing. So yeah, they give you a good, you know, what, maybe like,
I guess I take a small
40
sip.
mil. Got 40 mil of this clear alcohol. Another beaker is filling up. You take a tiny sip, okay.
Roll toughness.
Okay, so you've drunken it now, so I'm just gonna be blatant with it. So you've just drunken ethanol. The first 10% of any distilled alcohol is pure ethanol. So you have literally just drunken the stuff that makes you go blind.
And it should be methanol.
Yeah, sorry, methanol. You've gotten the poison bit off of the alcohol. So I do need a toughness test. I need it at
It was a tiny sip.
Yeah, -10. It was a tiny sip.
Technically, that's actually not true.
It is that stuff that kills you, isn't it?
Either way, I got a 5.
Yeah, it is, but it's not true that the 4-shot contains the most methanol.
No, the first 10% of the distilling process has the most. It's called the head of the distill, and you should always throw away the head, because that's the part that's going to contain the most, the highest quantity of it. Although technically it is still present in the rest of the alcohol. not in high enough doses to actually cause you harm. If not, then the Hillbilly Brewing Program fucking lied to me, and I watched about 20 episodes, so meh.
Well, it's kind of a myth. So you have, the first bit, which is supposedly the most methanol, but after that, you usually end up with a bunch of acetone and aldehydes.
But I think the idea of it is that it has a lower evaporation point than alcohol.
Yeah, acetone does as well.
So you're getting rid of
the first bit you should probably pour away, but it's a myth that it's mostly it contains most of the methanol.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because there's still plenty of methanol in the rest.
So yeah, you don't. It tastes kind of disgusting, because you're not actually getting the taste of the alcohol there. You're getting the taste of the other shit. There's something really not right about what you've just drunk, and you don't feel particularly bad. You're not having any negative effects, but
I mean, if I accidentally kill half of the... If I accidentally kill half of Vince's village, I won't complain.
Well, how often have you had Amasec?
Probably never.
Okay, you're not good qualified. So you don't look too pleased.
I mean, I'm a dick priest.
Yeah, they still have a drink every now and then. They can still.
There are currently 2 people at the very least in the party that have a very specific talent about drinking.
Yep.
So it takes it. There's a. You don't look too happy. You're kind of like checking the quality of it. You're checking the temperature of the still. Like maybe you did it a bit too low a temperature, and another little bit has dribbled out. And the 2 brothers have quickly picked it up, put another beaker there. Apparently, you made a lot of these glass beakers, and takes a little sip of what's there, and it's like looks quite impressed. Looks quite funny aftertaste. Apparently, hands it to his brother who has a sip and looks quite impressed, and then grimaces a little bit. They pass you theirs, and you kind of have a little sip of theirs. Theirs tastes different to yours. Up to you what you want to do with yours.
I mean, could we put the thing we distilled once again through the distiller?
No.
No, we can't make very strong alcohol.
No.
So that would be even better for the medicine machine.
No, technically you've got pure alcohol, which is what you guys are sipping on now. What you just had a sip on. Like I said, normally you would add water to this to dilute it down. But we'll save you. We'll you guys put some beaker underneath it, and you leave it to cook a little bit longer, and slowly a bit more starts dribbling out. You leave it till it gets there's about 50 ml in the beaker. The sun has begun to set. Everyone has finished their business now. Prey comes out of Heinrich comes out of the warehouse with a bag suspiciously over his back, something wrapped in leathers. Heinrich. It seems as if the brothers are holding up a 50 ml. Holding up a beaker with 50 mils of clear spirit from it, and looking up at the fading light at it.
Oh boy. Okay, I'll venture my happy little ass over and.
Hey, Heinrich, you're an alcohol specialist, aren't you?
You're an alcoholic, right?
I say specialist, not alcoholic. I kept being diplomatic.
You know what you meant, though.
Shh, details.
That's because I'm Irish.
I mean, I'm Belgian. Belgian, so
Anyway,
you're not so great.
I'm looking at
famous
you
for-
quizzically, like this is like straight up spirit.
So, here, have a sip. We brewed this.
All right, I'll take the beaker. If they're offering me a beaker, I'll take a beaker. I'll swirl it around, take a look. I'll sniff it before I drink it.
I drank it and I survived.
So, Heinrich, you know what the mulch basically smelt like. You smelt their alcohol before. It's kind of disgusting. This doesn't have a particularly nice smell to it. Like, there's no undertones of juniper berries or grapes. There's no fruitiness to it. And it's kind of like just.
And there's no heartiness to it either, of like oak or
No,
it's not. It hasn't been.
hasn't been aged at all.
Yeah, it hasn't been aged at all in like a barrel or anything else.
And perhaps you know that you should technically add some water to it to get it to more palatable.
Can I do that? just a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. There is water in town, and it's not.
I also have like a
of.
water skin on me, so.
And it's not unheard of to put like 4 drops of water into your whiskey, for example. If you have a shot of whiskey, 3 drops of water with ice changes the flavor profile. So, and it's something kind of poncy to do as well. You don't see it very often. So I could definitely see why, sure. So you pour a little bit into a beaker and then you get your water skin out and carefully drop a tiny bit of water in there. About 50-50, you reckon?
Yeah, I'll give him a nod and bottoms up, I guess.
Ray, did you give him your alcohol? Or the alcohol that the brothers had?
Oh fuck, you give me his. He's the one that offered me the alcohol, not the brothers.
Would you have offered Heinrich your funny tasting one?
No.
Okay.
I put the funny dating thing back into the still, remember?
Oh god. Oh no. Oh,
You're just going to
no.
put the methanol and all the acetone and all of that shit back through.
Yeah, and it's gonna evaporate quicker. It's gonna be in the main. So in the 50 mils. Okay.
You're a fucking genius, dude.
We did want to make explosives.
Glorious. Okay, so you have a drink of it, and it's not nice. You definitely wouldn't class it as nice. It's more like a nail varnish remover because it's just alcohol. You can tell that the mulch that they're using doesn't have like flavors to it. But you could see it as like a base. It's kind of like a really harsh vodka. Because it's literally just alcohol with water, and it hasn't been filtered. It's harsh as fucking burns on the throat, but it's drinkable. The other two see what you did and pour a little bit into their beakers with a little bit of water, and they're like, "Oh no, this is really really good." It burns a lot like the brothers' absinthe. Sorry, not absinthe. What does the Imperium drink?
Amsec?
Amasec. You guys had some Amasec from one of the miners a while ago, or a couple of days ago. A while ago in our time. It burns just as much as that, but it has more of that vodka, that neutral flavour to it.
Okay. They seem to like it quite well.
They seem to like it, yeah.
Can I get like a sample of the local stuff?
Yeah, the local stuff is just this mulch. So all they've done is taken the local mulch, the local drink, and distilled it. They haven't done anything else apart from that.
Oh.
And as you look over, a number of the civilians, the inbreds, who have finished their day's laziness, who are going over and looking for drink, they're all looking over at you guys and seeing what you're doing and like, huh? That's odd. Things are happening in town. What is this device that's next to the blacksmith's place?
So, first things first, I'll give you the remaining coins, Albie. Sorry, Cray. For I get for adding, basically fermenting into the mulch.
So, Heinrich, you would be aware that ploins are very juicy. You could technically just squeeze some ploin juice into the drink to make it a lot better.
Like a ploin mixer, yeah.
You don't have that many ploins, but as
I
a
have
short term,
3, I believe. Yeah, I have 3.
as a short term, to be like, look what we can do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll 3 ploins. They're about the size of what?
I think they're the size of a large pear. So they're
Large.
a handful, hand sized rather.
Like an orange.
Yeah, different proportions, but yeah. And I believe in at least some of the lore that I've heard about them, they're meant to be very seedy, with a little bit like a passion fruit, where it's very seedy but with a gelatinous, gooey.
So
matter
it's
around
about the
it.
same size as a pear, or a larger pear, but more juice. Like,
Yeah.
like a passion fruit, is a bit more.
Yeah, which is why I think it's turned into an alcohol itself, because it's a very juicy fruit, not like an apple that's very meaty, or a pear that's very got substance to it.
Okay, I'll try squeezing some of it into like a. I'd say like you could probably get a little under a cup of juice from it, perhaps.
Well, from what I've heard, I reckon you could probably like give it a squeeze, because they are ripe ones that fell from the tree. Give it a little bit of a shake. Dig your knife into the edge of it, drill a little hole basically, and just give it a squeeze into a cup. You'd definitely get, as a taster, you'd be able to do a few drinks. Because imagine like taking a lime and just putting a few drops of lime into each drink to give it a bit of flavor. You'd be able to do
much like the water. So like 4 drops of water and 4 drops of chlorine.
Yeah, something along that, and 4 drops or a half a shot of alcohol in there is gonna change it up a lot.
How many cups have we got? Basically.
We'll say Cray made like 10 beakers.
Okay, so I'll get them set up like 10 more, or not 10 more. I'll get up 4. So there's me, Cray, and the 2 brothers.
Sure.
And then I'll do the water bit. I'll do a little bit of pulling juice, and we'll all try it.
Sure. The brothers are kind of watching what you're doing, kind of like, adding fruit to. Man's a genius. Seeing the like purplish fluid come out of the ploin and mix in with so now your drink is ever so slightly purplish in color. They look at the
color. Fuck, if I get ice as well.
They look up at the color. Just roll. You just need to either I need to roll well, or you guys need to roll well on that random loot generator. Nice purplish liquid. Your cheers. I don't actually know what the Imperial salute is. Like cheers is.
Different from world to world.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a standalone just Imperial one. It's normally to do with your planet anyway. So who knows what you say? You clink beakers and have your shot.
Well, hi
the ploin juice improves it massively, and the brothers are just like, they're like, wow, this tastes really good. Is it alcohol meant to taste like? They seem really impressed, which has led to everyone around kind of murmuring and talking and like, what's going on? What's this? Now they're all coming in closer to the viewing.
Okay. Is the elder outside?
Yep, high high off his nut still.
Okay, he's high up his
He
nut,
stopped giggling to himself. He's now like paying attention. He's on the come down of his high now. Actually, hang on a minute. Wasn't that a day ago? Yeah, no, he's not high. That was yesterday.
He still could be high. You never know.
A really long high. That weird route. No, so he's not high. He's just sat around just watching what's going on.
Okay. All right. So from what I can see, so maybe trader, foreman, elder. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eldar.
Essentially, you could get everyone a taste of the alcohol with cloying juice. Everyone who's at least in the square that will talk about it. There are a lot others in the backgrounds, but meh. And that would probably use up all your ploins. I'd probably say a couple of drinks. You could do double the amount of villagers with just a few drops.
So I'll produce like the regular stuff, just watered down slightly, and try that. Just that's like the first one, and then just perhaps mainly for the trader, the elder, and the foreman, and then a few of the villagers. Like get them to try that bit afterwards.
Yeah, sure, you can do that. The villagers just seem amazed, like when they take the neat alcohol, basically, or with water. They're just like, whoa, what the fuck? It burns, but it warms the insides. This is what the fuck.
This is a good burn.
And yeah, pretty much. And then once they tried the mixture with a bit of ploin juice, they're just minds blown. What, you can have sweet, nice tasting alcohol? What the fuck? The foreman and the elder. So the elder has it, and he like coughs and splutters, and like an old man drinking neat alcohol. Seems pleased though. Then seems a little bit like, hang on a minute. When he has the ploin mixture, he seems pleased, but then he sees how everyone's smiling and everyone's like quite excited, and he sees change is happening. Like change. Whereas the foreman has some, and again, this it's like, wow, it burns, but in a good way. Has it with ploin juice, it's like, wow, it can be sweet as well. This is incredible. Sees everything changing and doesn't seem to be so opposed.
Okay.
Definitely seem to be more impressed about what's going on and the changes that are happening.
Okay. So I'll leave a few more out, less of the ploin juice, more of the straight stuff, because they did seem to like that. I know they're gonna really want the ploin stuff, so we're gonna need more. Right, we're gonna need more.
Well, the still is ready. Anyway, I saw you move to the.
Oh yes, I have a few. I have a few things. We'll not do that here in the square, because technically I stole them off all these people, but still.
So I mean, you can leave the brothers. So the brothers are currently talking to the merchant. The merchant's tried one, and just like you can see, he's like, this would be really good to sell. Could be, and he's currently talking with the brothers. They're putting more of his rank shit into the still, and they seem to be cooking more of it off. So yeah, they're gonna do that for a while. If you guys want, you can leave them to it, and they're just basically gonna pass out drinks for a while. The sun's gone down, people. It's time to get drunk.
It's drinking time. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll take everyone to one side and show off the things that I found in the storage hut, except for the Dyslexic. Dyslexic mine.
Sure. So I don't know how much I'm going to grab then. So you all come back over to your side of the camp, where things can be shown. I'm going to tell you now.
Abby just smiles at the foreman as she, walks past him.
They pretty much all get pissed tonight. You're going to hear them getting drunk. I'm just going to put it that way.
I hear them do more than just get drunk, like we always do.
I mean, do they pass out faster?
That's a good question.
They probably get drunk a lot faster.
They probably do. I mean, the issue is
Another
supply
question.
and demand.
So maybe it's going to be quieter because they're all going to pass out. So,
Well, supply
I'm
and
wondering-
demand. They're brewing it up as they're drinking it, so it's going to get round to everyone a lot slower. A little. No, actually, don't go there. Don't go there. So everyone's going to get a little sample, and then everyone's going to get another little sample, if that makes sense. Because it's only dribbling out. Stills aren't quick things. Doesn't ever come gushing out.
It's not the quickest in the world, but I'm gonna wonder now: are we not gonna get awoken to the sound of shitting in the morning?
Maybe. You might wake up to the sound of people shouting out, "I'm blind!"
It's not that bad a rock up.
No, they are-
Welcome to the club, bitch.
No, they're literally drinking the head off of distilled spirits. There's a chance that tomorrow people are going to go blind.
That's fine.
Also, there's also a chance they might not distill it as good as should be. Because they're in a hurry.
Well, so the brothers seem to be taking ownership of the still. At least when you look over their crate, the brothers
but
aren't
also
letting.
have put a couple of Omnissiah skulls on it.
Yeah, sure. Well, means you could have done that, and they would have looked in awe, because that's been done to the forge as well. So, so they would have been very protective over it, not letting anyone get too close, and you would have told them about temperatures and shit like this, not to let the fire get too hot, and all that nonsense. They seem quite dutiful over their new creation. But yeah, you guys can go through all the stuff that you found. It's just, yeah, next time there are going to be some rolls to see who goes blind.
Okay. These people have been drinking straight mulch for fucking years, probably. They're gonna be fine. Okay. Hello?
Hello there.
Hello? Everyone just suddenly went very quiet.
Yeah, I was waiting on this.
They're all staring at you like, so what's in the bag?
Oh, yes. So, good point. Hang on. So, I reach into my my bag of wonder, and first thing I pull out is a screwdriver. Could have used this a while ago.
I claimed the screwdriver.
No, you can't claim any of the stuff. I stole this legally. I legally stole all this shit, okay? But yes, I present the tools, and when we do need these tools, these are going to come in handy. I know we already have some of our own, but this is just... It's better to double up than not. The goggles, I'll show them off. They're going to be
What's
situated.
special about the goggles?
They protect from sunlight and dust and dirt and such. It keeps stuff out of your eyes, and they're slightly tinted to keep. I have a feeling they're like welding goggles or something.
Nope.
Basically.
Nope. They are literally just goggles for protecting your eyes against sandstorms and sunlight.
Yeah. So yeah. So I show them off, and we might need them at some point, but at the moment we only have the one pair. It might be useful in some situations, but at the moment I'm keeping them in my bag. Abby, don't worry about it. You don't need it. Just keep your eyes closed. This is going to be a special one for Cray, and I know Cray, you've promised to join my service, but just to sweeten the deal, I know you'll like this. I pull out the last cutter.
I yoink it, and it disappears in the ropes.
Yes. Just don't forget where it comes from, and it's technically a loan.
Robes just.
I also got some candles.
the robes just swallow it up. It is a robe now.
I pull out some candles and the igniter as well. What, basically just a simple lighter, like a fixed lighter?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about. I guess for now we don't need to worry about your fuel cell lighter, so long as this igniter works. And yeah, I think I saved the best for last. So I pull out the servo skull next and save the data slave for last. I'm pulling out this skull with spider legs and mechanical bits and ornate carvings, and I'm mainly pointing this at Cray. Like if he tries to grab it, it's like, no, it's mine. But what does it say? No going in the ropes, basically. What does it say, Metal
I
Man?
squint my eyes, and I guess I need to roll a deck use.
Yes.
Roll all the forbidden lures.
Can I
Please.
get a well, actually it's either a forbidden law mechanicus or a forbidden law techno heresy if you're a heretic. It's not actually archaeotech, funnily enough. It still counts as imperial tech.
So forbidden or mechanicus.
Yeah, mechanicus will work fine.
Not common.
Doesn't say if it's forbidden or it's not forbidden. It'd probably be either scholastic or common. Okay,
That's
so
4 degrees of success.
So when you look at the servo skull in its just as the skull, you look over it and it's extremely old. For one, it's a good. So we're in the 41st, so it's a good like 7 to 10,000 years old, roughly speaking. As you like look at the skull and at the cybernetics that make it up, they're far more compact than a new skull off the line nowadays, and it's quite impressive. And as you look around, you're like, well. You come to the legs and you think for a moment, you're like, well, I've heard of these, but where did I? And then you remember another obscure part of tech lore, that these are or were technically classed as spido. It's either spido skulls or servo spiders. They are quite a rare piece of tech. The Mechanicus do not really produce them anymore because most Magi believe that the servo skulls with the anti-grav or the hover technology are superior. However, these versions are far more durable and have a better chassis for housing weapons upon. And as you look over at the damaged side of the servo skull, spider skull, you can see that there is severe damage to one side of it, and that would be the mounting for a weapon of some type. Yes, they are extremely rare. However, you have heard rumors that the machine spirit within them is very animalistic, in that they are not ones to be programmed, but they are ones to be trained and broken. From what you understand, or what knowledge you had and what understanding you could make of it then, is that the animal side of their machine spirit is very active, and this makes them a far better search and destroy guardian type servo skull rather than their hover variant, because a lot of the space within the skull is taken up with the hover device. You look down on this servo skull and you can see it still has some of the neck joints, neck vertebrae still in place as ornamentation, But it has a neck and it has a chassis underneath it, so you can put more tech inside. It is currently deactivated, and you believe that the power cell is probably empty.
Well, I will need to do some work on it.
Of course.
I can tell you now that if you keep it deactivated and you let another member of the Adeptus Mechanicus examine the device, you will gain a +10 when dealing with that member of the Adeptus Mechanicus. So if you wanted to butter up a Mechanicus priest before talking to them, you show them this, you're like, yes, you can have a look at this, and they're like, ooh, very nice. For you to activate it, it's going to take 3 -20 tech use tests before you can tame it. Until you tame it, it will be feral, but it will not be aggressive. So in other words, if you activate it in your base, it will climb, and you don't tame it properly, it will climb into a corner of the base and just sit there spitting binary at you.
Well, it can't shoot us yet because there's no fucking gun attachment.
No gun attachment. It does have like so its feet do end in powerful snippers. So technically it can snip you, but yeah, it has no actual weapon attachment as of yet.
Crab skull.
Well, it says here, it has expert use of powerful claws to climb walls instead of grav jets.
Crab
skull. So yeah, currently it's deactivated though.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I'm not showing off the data slate or anything. So, all right. Why have I got 10 coffee pots of coffee bean? What?
Because
coffee pots worth
beans.
beans.
So I'm going to. Is there anything you want to discuss between the party before we end the session?
The moment, I got nothing.
Okay.
I kind of need to get the smith and the miner on board to, spiritually manipulate the entire village.
Oh yeah.
No, by all
I need
means.
to go back and clean up the whole place as well.
You are
So,
you're on a good start to that. They will need spiritual counselling for their first hardship, but I'm sure you can handle that.
So, are there any volunteers to help me with the irrigation note that is still is done?
With that statement,
Raises an eyebrow at spiritual things. Raises an just looks at the metal monk like, irrigation system is too long about that.
We need more people to be more active to change. I'm sure fucking Abby is going to be telling us about it soon enough, or probably already did tell us about it last night. The path, not the path.
the fates.
Yeah, she'd let you guys know about their beliefs, what she's trying to do.
We need to get more people onto the sun path. Like, show them when we can produce more of the cloying fruit alcohol and stuff like that. We could like pass it off as like, this is our hard work allowed us to make this, so we can enjoy it more in our free time and such, like that kind of shit.
I mean, it's probably not going to be too difficult to get them to believe into the Emperor, instead of the Sun Path, once we're there.
Yeah, but at the same time, it might be better just let the tribals believe the tribal thing for as long as possible. Especially because Mothermouth did mention that we can't mention the Emperor to begin with. Or not to begin with, but when we first started here.
So technically, Muttermouth believes in the sun god. It's just he knows it also as the emperor. For example.
And I think the smith and the miner would probably be very aware of the Imperial Creed.
They know of it. They 100% know of it. They're not devout followers of it, but it's definitely their religion of choice. So we put it.
We'll get there.
It's just you don't see them doing like the 5 prayers a day shit that you're meant to do. The Imperial member of the Imperial Creed.
Wait. What does the Imperial Creed have to do? Pray 5 times a day?
If
Again,
you're-
it's heavily based off modern
So,
religious and stuff.
technically, from what I've been able to figure out, that only stands for non-military personnel. If you're in the military or you're connected to certain organizations where you clearly don't have time to be able to do that, then they do what is it? They have special chapels just to see to that departmento unitorum or the Astra, whatever department it is. So they can go privately when they need to go to the chapel to pray. But on most imperial worlds where the ecclesiarchy have a say in what happens, they expect them to at least stop throughout the day and pray to or do prayers during their work hours or so on and so forth. Depends on every world as well. There are always slight differences and so on.
Huh.
Yeah, it's remembered the 40k religion is a heavily controlling religion. So having your people have to go and pray 5 times a day. It's like, yeah, that's a way to put control on them. Not looking or bringing any correlations to real world religions or anything there, you know. I would say that. And that's where we end our episode. So
I think we already had this discussion on the Dark Heresy one anyway, so it's okay.
we do, but so look, I like to hit everyone with the joke stick. And religion, I just have a tendency to be like, yes, you get more of the bapping. Because they're an easy target. They're protected. They're godly. They should be able to rise above the jokes. So, thank you all so much for watching. I certainly hope you've enjoyed this session. Hope you're looking forward to future sessions where the town is swayed deeper into the group's pockets. Trust me, the alcohol has done an awful lot for your guys' reputation in this place. Things can only go up once you bring forth the fried and grilled nibbles. Oh yes, once you teach them how to use to get grilled meat and things. Oh yes, they'll in the back.
Fried and grilled nibbles? What?
Nibbles, not nipples. Well, nipples probably.
I'm sorry, right?
Nibbles, as in.
That's what I understood, sorry.
As in, like peanuts, bar snacks, things that salty that you eat when drinking. You know, introduce that shit to them and they'll be in your pocket. Trust me. So yes, all that to come and more. So thank you so much for spending time here. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye for now.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.